Ready? Yeah? Okay, let's go. Hi, I'm wildlife photographer Scott Latham. These are my 9 really quick Lightroom secrets that are going to help you quicken up your workflow when working with the Adobe programs. Really simple, really quick to get through. I'm going to jump into the laptop and hopefully these tips will help you with your photo editing. Let's have a look what we can do then. I'm just going through a few images that I did when I went up the mountain in the Fendorn Valley with the hair masters that are Kevin Morgans and Andy Parkinson earlier this year, and that's Kevin there. You can see in the background as the hair runs past is quite a nice little moment. But anyway, I cataloguing through my images using Lightroom before I fully edit, and I thought I'd put together these 9 really quick tips to help your workflow moving forward if you are using Lightroom and cataloguing and stuff like that. So for me, you can see on the left hand side here, this panel's hidden for me, so if I click on it you'll see that it's back, but if we just click on it again, that's how we manage to hide that away, and then if we need it we just hover over and it's there, and that just gives us a little bit more room to play with on the image. But on the sliders on the right hand side here, now they're quite small, and sometimes you might want to just go 1 or 2 points higher, and that can be tricky if you're dragging them. So if we drag these sliders across and make this area a little bit bigger, it just makes things a little bit easier moving forward to just get those individual points in. Sharing and sort of flagging, starring and rating your images is something that I find helps me process the better images that I want to edit first, and then we go down the catalogue. So if we go to the library, you'll see here this has got a 5-star on it. If we just knock that down to 1 star, 2-star, 3-star, whatever, we can do it on the clicks. But we can do it by just pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then what that does then, when we go to our overall library, we can go to the filter at the top and we can click on rated here, and it's going to bring the ones that we've actually rated and in star order as well. So really makes it easy for you to then go through and edit the ones that you want to edit first. So next thing is, particularly if you're a studio photographer or you're working with clients on a wedding or something like that, you want them to look at the catalogue and you want them to go, yeah, I like that one, I like that one, I want a print of that one. So what you can do then is you can open it back up like so, and they can press the P button or just click on the flag. Just give them the keyboard and go through pick, you know, and there we go. We've got they're then in the library. They're the ones you picked. You then know what your customer wants. You can then go to the filters again, and you can click on the flagged element, and it'll show you the ones that your clients want you to edit and print off for them, or put in an album or whatever it may be. So the next tip that I'm going to look at with you is I'm just going to reset this image. So it's very central, hair in the middle. We're going to press L, and that's giving us the lights out. Lights out dulls everything down, can see the image, brightens it up, allows you to still use these sliders to go up, down, whatever you may need to do, but it's popping the image so you can get a real clear view of it instead of it just being, you know, within the workspace. Press L again and we get completely black, but obviously then it's very difficult to change any sliders because we can't see them. So go back to normal. First things first, when I start editing personally, I want to have a look what the software and the algorithms within Adobe Lightroom Classic are going to chuck out for me. So good starting point, always just click that auto button. It's a bit dark around here, but then you can still use your sliders. You can still just bring a little bit of that blacks back up and just bring the background colour in a little bit better again. Now, on tip number 5, we're going to look at white balance. Now we know we can drag these sliders up, down, wherever. We can look at the auto, it's okay, daylight, and then we can add our tones to it, whatever we need to do. But if we drag the eyedropper and go on to a cool area, such as the sky up here, that's gonna just, so if we start there, click on there, and that's cool things down because we've gone for a warmer area. Then we've got this blue area here, click on that, and that's warmed it back up. So if we click on a cool area, it warms things up. If we click on a warm area, it cools things down a little bit. And it's a way that you can get a white balance that works within the colours of your image to start with. So just going to click on auto again, bring everything together, because on tip 6 what I'll show you is before and after. Now we know we can go to the Y's down here and we can see the before and after, and if we click through we can see half image and half image, and we can see up and above and everything, you know, different settings as we go through them. If we go back to our image, there's a real simple quick way. We don't have to do anything. Backslash. Press backslash on your keyboard and there we go. We can have a preview of the before, and it just, I just prefer that little bit, so we can bring that down, or, you know, we can see where we started in the raw file and where we're at now. Next thing I want to show you is how we can individually reset those sliders. So we know we can press reset and it brings the image back to the raw file. However, we might not need to do that. We might want to just swap individuals. Now, instead of just moving across and trying to find that 0 like we're trying to do now and it's bouncing around, just double click on blacks, just double click on shadows, whatever, and it just puts them back to reset to 0. Real quick tip, that one. Two of the best tools in both Photoshop and Lightroom, in my opinion, are the gradient and brush tools. So in tip number 8, we're going to have a look at those. So let's start with the gradient tool. I just want to highlight the hair in this case. I'll look an oval, like so. We could drag it around. We can go back a bit, click back on it, and we can just give it a bit of shape to it. But what I want is make sure the invert is off, so that means anything on the outside of that circle is going to be what we control on the sliders. So when I bring the exposure down, we can see that the exposure's coming down, the highlights are down, shadows, blacks. You know, I'm doing this extreme to show you the power of it. Press done, and we can see that by using that backslash again, we can see that it draws everything around it dulled down. Now, it doesn't particularly work for this image massively, and we have done it quite heavily to show how the effects work, but you could see on certain images how this would really add depth of light to your image. So just going to reset that, and the next one is the brush tool. So maybe we want to work on just the hair, and we're going to go around the hair very quickly, painting on, making sure that you'd have noticed that press the slow show selected mask, we can turn that on and off. We can have the show pin edits on as always, so it's there, or never, or auto, which means that it's there, but then if I'm working on it, it disappears. Then we're going to click off it because we don't want the mask, and then drag the exposure up, and you'll see that the hair exposure changes, and it only changes whatever you've painted over. And this is great for all sorts of different, styles of photography, not just wildlife and whatever. Press done, and again we can see with the backslash that we've made a few edits on the hair, nothing major. The crop on this image is very central, it's quite high up, we've got a bit of mush in the front. The hair's looking fairly at us, but slightly as you're looking at screen to the left. So let's have a look at the final tip that we're going to go for today. As standard, when you click on the crop tool, it gives you these 9 squares. Now, this hair slightly goes uphill. Now, it doesn't matter so much in this image. However, if we drop on the angle tool like we've just done and just dragged it, particularly if you've got a landscape that's got an horizon or a waterfowl and there's water and we want to make sure that's level, we could draw along the line of the water and get everything level again. And you can see again with your backslash, your crop tool has done the work for you. The other thing is, as standard, as I said, you've got these 9 grids, but there's lots of different overlays actually for cropping. If you press O key, it can change to diamonds, triangles, different rectangles, cropping sizes for prints, smaller grids, whatever. The one I wanted to show you is the magic circle. I love the magic circle. It's so cool. It brings everything in beautifully. So as you can see, it's this top right hand corner. But if we hold Shift and O, we can move a lot of these grids about, whether it's the spiral or whether it's the diamonds, the triangles. By holding Shift and O, we can move things about so that it suits where you want to put the focus. Now for me, I want it up that top right hand corner. So what I'm then going to do is start moving my hair into the top right hand corner where I want it, and there it is. It's in that top right hand corner now, with the spiral coming off the nose and round and giving us the open space. Press OK, and there we go. We've got a better crop now, in my opinion. Top right hand corner, the hair's looking at us, but it is slightly looking into that more open space on the left hand side. We can then play around with the edits and make everything perfect.